Hello, welcome. I am Jessica Loper, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my experience with 75 Hard. The reason I want to share this is to hopefully spark some interest in other people that this may be a good fit for. The reason I did the program is because I found myself not sticking to my goals long term. I made a lot of great goals and progress and intentions around my physical health, eating more nutritious, moving my body, but I really lacked the discipline and consistency to see any long-term results or to even just create actual long-term lifestyle changes. So what would happen is I would do really clean eating for about a month, but then I'd go right back to all my old habits, or I would go to the gym or work out, really consistently for 3 or 4 weeks. But then as soon as I miss too much time, I just fall off the wagon, and then I wouldn't go back for at least a month or more. Right? So it was just kind of this off again of eating right and working out. And it'd be a month here and there, but just no consistency, no real lifestyle change. So when I found out about 75 Hard, and I'll explain what the program is in more detail in just a moment, but I had seen my cousin and a friend, both that had completed the program and had posted about it and shared, and I just remember the first time I saw my cousin share it thinking, oh, whoa, that's way too much. I don't think I can do that. But I kind of had that in the back of my mind, maybe someday. It was appealing, but not right now. So that's fine too. Even if you look at this and think, oh, I'm not ready for that, but maybe someday, that's okay. You may come back to it when the time is right. Because I saw people sharing about this for quite some time before I actually did it myself. But then when I saw a friend post about it, I was just in this place of really wanting the lifestyle changes, but struggling. And so I decided to check more into it. I listened to episode 208 of Andy Frisella's podcast episode where he explains the whole program. I will post a link to that in the description of this so that you can go listen to the whole program explanation. If you want to know more, it'll get you pumped up. I listened to the episode, and as soon as I was done, I was like, it is time. I was like, it is time. It is time to get disciplined. So what you do is for 75 days, you have to do 2 45-minute workouts a day. One must be outside. Walking counts, which is good because if you're not used to exercising that often, the walking does help you get into it. I got sore from just walking. My body was just not used to moving that much. And even though the first couple weeks I mostly just walked, I felt like I was going to get shin splints. I was not used to it, but it was a good way to ease in. And then I got to a point, I think it was around day 20, where I was like, hey, I need to expand on this. I need to challenge myself more. So I started running, and I could only run about 7 minutes when I started. And by the time I finished the program, I was running 25 minutes. It's a 45-minute workout though. So I would walk the rest of the time. And then I also incorporated some weightlifting as well. So you can do whatever fitness program is good for you, but that's what I did. And you also have to drink a gallon of water a day. That was probably the hardest part of the entire thing for me, was a gallon of water a day. I'll share more on that in a minute, but let's get through what else you have to do. You have to read for 10 minutes a day from an actual book, and you have to take a progress picture every day to track your progress. And you have to follow a nutrition plan or diet of some kind that helps you with your physical goals. So you can pick whatever diet you want, and once you pick it, you have to stick to it. So what I did, my goal was to gain muscle, so I did a high protein, low sugar diet. I had a lot of other details, but that was the gist of it, was high protein, low sugar. I've never ate that much protein in my life. I didn't realize how challenging it would be to eat that much protein, but I did gain muscle. I visibly can see and feel more muscle gain after doing this. So I was super excited about that, to actually finish the 75 days and see a difference and feel a difference. so cool because like I spent the entire year before that wanting to gain muscle, and I didn't because I wasn't sticking to anything long enough to even see a change. Just the on and off thing wasn't cutting it. So I am so like proud of myself and happy with the results. And I finished the program about 30 days ago, so I just kind of reevaluated and simplified things, but I've still been consistent since then. Did I get everything? Oh, and no alcohol. I don't drink anyway, so that part was easy for me. I've been sober for 13 years, and that is one of the best decisions of my life that like really changed all of my perception and self-care and like loving myself. If that's something you've been curious about, if you're someone who has been curious about getting sober, the 75-day hard is probably a good way to like really go without the alcohol that long and see how much of a difference it can make for you. So it's a mental toughness program. It happens to include fitness and nutrition, but really what it is the mental toughness. And that is what was probably the most appealing to me, right? Because this on-off thing of like kind of eating good and working out a little bit and just off and on, I lack the discipline. And it was like mental. It was very mental for me. So doing a mental toughness program, I was like, hey, maybe this is what I need to actually stick to my goals and actually get results and see changes. And that's the number one reason I did this, was like the discipline. Like I knew I needed the discipline. And it worked. And yes, it was hard. There were times that if I had known certain things were going to happen during these 75 days, that I probably wouldn't have started. I would have been like, no, that's too hard. But I was already in it. About I want to say it was about 5 to 6 weeks into it. We had some urgent family matters and had to travel. And we had about a 16-hour drive each way. And we had to do that twice within 3.5 weeks. And so I'm trying to travel and drink a gallon of water a day and work out twice a day. And it was hard. I definitely considered quitting many times during that 3.5 week span. But I was like, I have to do this. I've already started. I don't want to start over. I'm already like, a month into it, about roughly, and I don't want to start over. And so yeah, it was hard to drink a gallon of water when being in a car for 8 to 10 hours a day, because we did break up the drive. And I remember there was one time we got to our hotel and it was already dark and I hadn't done my outdoor workout for the day, and our plan was to get there in time to find a park so I could do my outdoor workout at the park before it got dark. And we just got delayed, and I had to walk around the hotel part. There was a few hotels together, and luckily the lighting was good, but I had to do my walk outside, and it was windy. It was so windy. It was miserable. It was dark and windy in an unknown area. Dark outside, but they did have lighting in the parking lot. And I just remember thinking it was the longest 45 minutes ever of trying to do my walk in the wind and thinking I just want to be in the hotel, relaxing after driving all day. So that's just one example, but there were quite a few days where circumstances like that, where it just made me realize, okay, you really can push through and stick to your goals. Like, how often are we making up excuses? And I don't make as many excuses anymore, like with the weather, or how cold it is outside. Like, I just do it anyway. And that's kind of what this taught me. But I also had to be mindful of like listening to my body as well. And there were days where I was like at my limit physically and just was like, I feel like my body needs to rest. So like after I had started lifting more and running and things, there were days where I was like, okay, I just need to walk today. My body can't take this. And it also really helped me to learn how to decipher between listening to my body and like that monkey mind of like just not feeling like doing anything, right? Because how often do we think we're listening to our body? Oh, I don't feel like doing that. And really, it's not our body. It's our mind making up excuses. And I feel like before this program, I had a hard time deciphering between the two sometimes. And it was easy to just be like, oh, I'm listening to my body. I don't feel like working out today, or I don't feel like eating right today. And really, it was just like my mind getting in the way. So I think that is something I don't even know how to explain it, but somehow doing this program has made it much easier for me to decipher between actually listening to my body and when is it just my mind making up excuses. So that was another really big takeaway. Also, my time management, because you do have to fit a lot more into your day to keep up on everything. But what it did is really help me manage my time better, because I am working full time. I am homeschooling my son. I have kids to run around to activities, all the normal mom things, right? Cooking, cleaning up, running errands, and it's just like fitting all this in. It was challenging. Sometimes I had to wake up earlier. I had to plan my day ahead every day. I had to look at, okay, what do I have to do tomorrow, and where can I fit in this workout? Like, my son had football practice, so I took him to his practice. And while he was at his practice, I walked around the park and did my workout while he was at practice. Several months ago, I probably would have sat in my car and scrolled on my phone during his practice, right? So it was just about using my time more wisely. And now, like, if I went to a practice, I'd be much more likely to, even though I'm done with the program, I'm going to be more likely to, like, just walk while I wait instead of sit on my phone, right? So it did. It created some good habits and some good time management. There were times where I was doing my indoor workout, at 10 or 11 at night, trying to fit in my workout before I went to bed. I don't really do that now. Like, now that I'm off the program, I have a much more simple plan for myself. I'm doing one workout a day, 6 out of 7 days a week. If you watch one of my previous videos, like, there was a week where I missed one of them. And the old me would have kind of just like given up because I missed something or because I didn't do it perfectly. Now, I did finish my 75 hard and do everything I was supposed to do every day for the 75 days. So this, I'm talking after, right? My 30 days since finishing the program, I had a week where I only got my 5 out of 6 workouts in, because that's the new goal I set for myself after I finished the program. But instead of just going back to my old habits, I was like, oh, well, we're starting in tomorrow. And I have been. Like, that has been... And it is a lifestyle change, and that is what I wanted, because I've been able to still have a nutrition plan and taking care of myself. I've been reading almost every day still, not always 10 minutes, but it's still like that habit. Like, maybe it's just a few pages, but I have the habit, and just eating better. But now I allow myself a cheat day, whereas in the 75 hard program, you don't have a cheat day. But now that I'm finished, I'm like, because in the past, anytime I tried to do a nutrition plan and had a cheat day, I always seem to just totally fall off the wagon after my cheat meal or whatever. Okay, actually, I'm doing a cheat meal. I like to call it a bonus meal, though, because cheating, like, it sounds wrong, like you're doing something wrong. So I kind of, like, when I wrote out my new plan for myself after I finished the program, I put bonus, like, meal, and it's like 1 meal a week is like my cheat meal, like, but I've done that, and there have been some weeks where I just didn't even have the cheat meal, like, I don't even want it, but I've been able to still, like, get right back on and stick to my plans the next day, even if, I did choose to have that meal. So, and same with, like, if I missed a day of working out, like, I'm like, no, I'm just getting right back on, and I've made the lifestyle changes. I definitely feel like it's made me mentally tougher. So if that sounds like something you need, I highly recommend it. Listen to the podcast link that I put in the comments. If you have any questions for me, you're welcome to type it in the comments or reach out. I'm happy to answer any other questions. If you need an accountability buddy or just someone to, like, root for you, let me know, because I love seeing people make changes that just make them happier and make their life better. And it feels so good to, like, know you did something and to know you're making the changes and sticking to your plans, sticking to your goals. Even if you're starting with something small, maybe you're not doing something like this, but you've made your own type of, like, challenge or program or goal for yourself. And, like, how good does it feel to stick to it, right? And how good does it feel to pick right back up where you left off if you do slip up? Like, that actually feels good too. Like, stop being the victim and falling off the wagon. Like, if you slip up, you just get right back on and you just keep doing it anyway. That's one thing I've learned from this. So yeah, that's all I have. Just wanted to share my experience. So take care. I do have a bi-weekly series separate from this video that I do every 2 weeks on YouTube that is staying in the flow and on track. In the flow and on track is like the series name, where I just kind of do some weekly guidance with going with the flow, listening to the energy, following the energy, listening to your body, but also like sticking to your goals and staying disciplined, because I feel like we really do need both. I'm all about following intuition and listening to our body, but like we need our mind too, and we need to have that mental discipline as well. That's when real results happen. So that's why I made the video series. Just in general, I think it's important, and I want to be able to help people get in the flow and stay on track. So check those out, and I hope you have a good week. Thanks for watching, and I would appreciate any likes or comments on this video. Definitely helps me. Thank you.